Alright guys, Hatchcomic again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Scrappy's back at it again, calling out some OpTic fans, saying that while they may revere many of their players as the best in the world, Scrap reckons that there's at least a few players that are better than those guys that they hold so highly, potentially a couple of which on the Los Angeles Thieves roster for the upcoming season. Plenty else going on as well on the day, including some Rostermania pieces which are starting to come through. Very much into your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I greatly appreciate it. The season is at this point far less than a week away from officially getting underway, but let's start with some Rostermania things, certainly in the challenger side, and what this might mean down the line for the pro teams, just because we know that it's Hook's team that's been looking especially good in challenges as of late. We think that Hook might get a spot in the CDL. Of course, Illy's also there, obviously former world champion down in challenges, trying to make some progress. But Team Phantoms has been around a very long time as a professional Call of Duty player. He was on FaZe Black, I think, when they were first kind of coming around as the second FaZe team way back in Black Ops 4. I think he was on that team with aSeam and a couple of other guys at the time. And yeah, Phantoms like Gravity, guys like that. Phantoms has been on the FaZe Black team again, but there were some interesting developments yesterday. So Mercules, pretty talented player, making some progress, making a name for himself right now in challenges, got dropped from his team last night, and they brought in instead of Mercules, I think the Omit Brooklyn guys brought in Brack instead. So yeah, they're making some changes. Brack is into that roster. Obviously that leaves Mercules and, well, potentially Phantoms, as we'll see in a second, looking for an opportunity. And then we saw, well, I thought this is a pretty funny clip as well that I'll probably put for you guys in a second, but the boys were watching some Black Ops 4 back and they were talking about Brack as a player and, you know, his and Skyz play styles on that Luminosity gaming roster back in the day that they caused some damage. Of course, that was the team where Formal spent some time, but yeah, what a roster. Skyz, Brack, Formal, Slacked, and John, wasn't it, at the time? Because this was after, yeah, I think that's the roster they had back then, just because they had Gunless for a while, and then he had all sorts of drama, and he wasn't turning up to scrims because he was at an EDM concert, and then they dropped him for Coach Ricky. Wow, what a season Black Ops 4 was. But anyway, speaking of Brack, he's on that Omit Brooklyn team, but Phantoms is gone from the FaZe Black roster, right? So yeah, he's out of there. Free agent for challengers, he says. So there's things happening right now in Tier 2, big changes being made, what that means for the future. He was actually on Paris, wasn't he, a couple of years ago? I think that's where his profile picture is. Yeah, when he was on the Paris Legion. Wow, what a crazy time we have had in the CDL over the last several years. There was a bit of well, discussion yesterday on the state of Black Ops 6. We know that the game in general is pretty good, I would say. The maps leave a lot to be desired, as does ranked and, you know, the hackers and stuff like this. And Crowder was talking about this because it was a talking point that if you are, you know, a 4-stack, obviously in CS they're talking about 5 stacks, but if you're a 4-stack in well, the ranked play, you'd expect to play other 4 stacks. And well, it is a question because I'm pretty sure back in Black Ops 2 that was considered kind of like the gold standard. I don't think Black Ops 2 was unbelievably good in terms of how good the rank play setup was. It was called League Play at the time, but it was far better than most of the years that we've had since then. It was pretty much the first one ever introduced on Black Ops 2 way back in 2012. But I'm pretty sure on that game, if you were solo queue, you couldn't come up against a 4-stack, and if you were a 4-stack, you would always play another 4-stack. I think that's how it worked. And it's, you know, different games have played around with this over the last few years. But yeah, I think Crowder's probably got a fair point there. I also thought this was quite interesting, really, looking at some of the movement here in Black Ops 6 and the fact that at times it can be a bit clunky. I mean, I think this has been kind of a noticeable feature. That, yeah, the Omni movement is nice, but if you compare, let's say, MW19's movement, crouching, bunny hopping, whatever, to Black Ops 6, it's significantly slower and more clunky in the new game. Now, Treyarch have their reasons for why they've designed it like that, but, you know, I think it does it is like obviously noticeable, right, that there are certain things in the Omni movement which are clunkier than they were back in MW19. So Matt Scrontz actually talked about this and said, once prone and crouch speeds became too fast, you get a mismatch too much between first and third person PFEs, which has led to snaking. Faster is not always healthier, which I do agree with, really. Treyarch have always been pretty good at this when it comes down to, for example, Black Ops 3, when if you went prone, you know, you had to put your hand down to stand up and get back into the position. It basically basically stopped snaking as a feature, and Matt says he's not been a fan of spamming jump during combat, so we intentionally designed the Omni movement mechanics away from that and into other areas instead. So, he does say he's looking at feedback, because I think this is an interesting analysis. Basically, it's about cameraing, and it's about whether what I see from my player perspective actually matches up with what the other guy sees from his perspective, and that can be a massive problem, especially when the movement mechanics become too fast, which I totally get. But the question that Nadeshot's raising is this actually any different to what it was back in MW19, right? As Nade says, may sound faded, but I think Treyarch should remove the guardrails on movement restrictions that were implemented to mitigate snaking. I'm sick of dead slides. I'm sick of feeling like I've got cement blocks on my feet randomly. Omni movement is too fun to not go at full speed. And then he was kind of discussing, well, that's what you say until you get snaked the whole game. And that they've tried to mitigate snaking by making some features slower. But you can kind of still snake. And the problem with the first and third person camera discrepancies is kind of still there anyway. As Nade says, if I shoot someone behind a heady and they crouch or go prone while they're one shot, they'll still pop up and kill me 90% of the time. It's almost impossible to mitigate that peak as advantage. Even if I pre-fire, I still might lose that fight almost every time. And this is a thing in multiple games. It's not just a COD thing. But I guess Nadeshot's point is, look, you can slow the movement down to try and make the gameplay better, but you're never going to get rid of peak as advantage, because it's just server side at the end of the day. It's like and ping related, if I stand up and start shooting the guy, by the time he sees me stand up, he might be already dead on my screen, and the server then usually has to reflect exactly that. So I thought that was an interesting discussion. Treyarch say they're open to feedback on it. I did just want to quickly go through, because we saw many of the screenshots yesterday between the OpTic versus CTE Nation scrims. As I say, most of these matches are very one-sided, but we did have some, further scoreboards here already. I think we saw this one. This one I'm not sure that we did see on... Actually, no, we did see this one, because it was HyDra with 40 kills on the protocol. I think it was these couple that we maybe didn't see, just at least the conclusions of at the start of the game. So I'll go through these real quick. If you guys didn't see yesterday's video, Vault was 250-125 in favour of the OpTic boys. Good map here from literally everyone on the roster, and same story on the skyline. Dashy goes 35-20. Prolo went double neg on this one, had a bit of a rough one. And the red card then was this scoreboard, where again this time it was really the ARs on OpTic doing the absolute damage. Let me just actually find this one. Here you go. Yeah, red card 250-113. So kind of more expected numbers towards the end of the series, but nonetheless an interesting scrim set. This is what I teased a second ago though, so I've got a couple of clips to share for you guys. Firstly from Shotzzy, also from what Scrappy has to say. But look, Shotzzy is going to be a menace to watch this year. This is actually absurd what he does in this clip, I'm not going to lie. Here we are on Skyline Hardpoint with the Jackal in hand. I'm also mind blown that some of the pros at the start of the game weren't even using the Jackal. I remember when they used that other gun, whatever it was called, the bison looking thing. I don't know why people even thought that was good. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm just faded. But I always thought the Jackal was way better. But this is just Shotzy's POV right now. And it's crazy to think about, right? Because in Black Ops 3, I'm going to say it again, but I mean, whatever at this point. BO3, when the game first came out, or just when jetpacks were first around, for the first few months of the game, the pros were just learning, just getting used to it. And you did not see the full potential of the movement in the game for months, if not even years. I mean, BO3, there are people today going back, they've found new mechanics, like the wall bouncing started to be introduced. Obviously, in this game, there's no wall running. But my point is that as time progresses in a Call of Duty game, people just get better and better with the movement. And we're only a month into BO6, and here's Shotzzy pulling off stuff like this. And it's only going to get better than this, right? It's only going to get wackier. Like, you're only going to see more of this stuff from Shotzzy as time goes on. But that kill is just insane. Flying out the top window there, getting the elimination. And then he kills all of these guys as well. That guy got slammed. This guy gets absolutely destroyed. And then he gets the 5th as well. Unbelievable scenes. So, this is one of my favourite clips, I'm not going to lie, so far here in BO6. And even that, when he drops the stun, like even this clip, he drops the stun, then slides backwards around the corner. So smooth.
Go top door. Where'd you buy me?
That's that bedroom. Challenging. Nice. I have.
Nice. Good. Dead. 2v1. One more. I feel like whenever you guys are moving around the map, your guys' guns like are not ready, if that makes sense. So whenever you slide, like you guys are just sliding like this without like aiming in and shit, rather than like sliding and then aiming in for like 1 second, just in case if he is there, and then redoing like the entire movement. Like whenever you guys are moving, you guys are just moving without like aiming in, rather than like just always having your gun ready. Obviously, that's like besides pros and like AMs or whatever, like that's like one thing that you guys don't really do. It's just always having like that habit just to be safe. Just so you're not like ever caught off guard. You know what I'm saying? Like let's just say I'm gonna entry through a doorway off the like, and I just spawned, and one could be nearby. Like I'm not gonna like just slide without aiming in. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that'll naturally help you guys like centering as well. Like being keen on like someone being there.
Beautiful, Kyler. Wait, who do you have? Scrap? You have Scam, right?
I Vant, yep.
And Bruce and Dante?
Oh my god!
Yeah, I was gonna go slash.
Oh my god!
Weird feeling,
This is good. This is good. Nowadays, it's just like, bro. Some people are gonna be better than your favorite players, respectfully. Some people are gonna be better than your favorite players.
I just turned to my left. You're staring at me.
But people will never bring it up because some of these people would fucking fuck these fucking OpTic people.
Doritos, Locos,
Some of these people would fuck Seth.
This is why this shit
Literally. But I tip it. I get tip the fan base.
And it's not just like Shotzzy's doing this in ranked, of course, it's also in competitive play as well against other pro players. This is Shotzzy's POV. I know that like he gets kind of stuck a little bit, and Kremp, to be fair, does miss a few shots here, right? But still, getting this kill onto Simp and then sliding sideways and slamming Kremp like that. I mean, this kill is... Look, it might not be an insane kill. I'm sure from Kremp's POV, this looked insane though. And this is like the closest thing that I've seen to an Advanced Warfare exo dash. Like if you guys played Advanced Warfare, you'll know that in this type of situation where you're getting shot from the left-hand side, you would immediately dash left more than likely. You could dash right as well. But if you guys didn't play AW, you could double jump and you could also dash. You had the ability to do basically a dash, and then a couple of seconds later you could do another one in any direction. And this is also what it was like back in Black Ops 3 using overdrive. When the overdrive, it was a specialist that made you run faster, but when you first activated it, it gave you like a dash in any direction. And this basically what Shotzzy does here. It's a feature that I never thought would return after jetpacks, but Shotzzy is able to double tap, basically run to the left, because with arm movement you can run in any direction, and then he slides immediately afterwards, and he basically gives himself an exo dash here. And from Shotzzy's POV, it looks pretty insane. I think from Kremp's POV, this looks like absolutely outrageous. So yeah, that's what you're dealing with if you're a CDL pro trying to handle Shotzzy on this title right now. But of course, Scrappy was giving his thoughts there as well, discussing OpTic fans. We know how it goes, right? Scrap's been not been in the blender precisely, but he's definitely been up against the community over the last couple of weeks. He's been getting called out left, right, and centre over the whole GA drama, and Scrappy's trying to get his revenge in, maybe to some degree. Like, is he wrong? Obviously, OpTic fans have the biggest fan base. Well, they do have the biggest fan base. That's not going to change. Obviously, we've talked about Gentlemates and Falcons and, you know, other interests from other areas, which is going to be good to see this season. But as we know, the Green Wall will still reign supreme. But Scrappy's point is that, look, the Green Wall are going to say, oh, Dashy's the best AR, Shotzzy's the best SMG, Scump's the best of all time, which is all, you know, fair and understandable comments given you're a fan of the roster. But Scrap says, no, that ain't true. There are, you know, better players out there, potentially Scrap thinking he's among them, right? And I wouldn't be surprised, because if you're a guy like Scrap, you've got to have confidence in yourself that you're going to be the best player in the entire game. And to be fair, Thieves is stacked full of players like that for the upcoming season. So it's going to be a fascinating year. Very much interested in your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
Oh, we lost to Brack. We lost to Brack.
Dude, we didn't just lose. We got dismantled, I think.
If Brack actually sprinted, he would have actually been disgusting.
If Brack had a left, I think Brack just went to every event with no left stick, dude.
10 years.
He never wanted to sprint, bro.
He never fixed his sprint button. He never fixed his sprint. From like the day it fucked up when he was a kid, he never fixed it.
Yeah.
Bro, watching Caesar, bro, you'd be you didn't even know there was a slide in this game watching this guy.
Wow, dude, I actually miss. Yeah, no, legit. He's just throwing shoulders. Dude, Caesar still plays the same.
Does Teach have a grenade? Like, you get that shit every round.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Teach?
He's running grapple. We have him on fuck.
Get Fat Teach in here.